We're back. For those of you in VOD land, it may feel like centuries, but to us, in the present, it was a matter of seconds. Oh, how the week flies by. Indeed, so much time has gone by. In fact, one might say it's even an illusion, a construct made for our puny, tiny minds to comprehend the passage of the disintegration of the universe. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyways, yeah, we're doing some art. I need to turn down my volume. But yeah, we're doing... You can get there, buddy. Maybe, hopefully. Someday, maybe I'll have a clear understanding as to how to perfectly convey my emotions or whatever. Anyways. Working on new art stuff. I started doing Spider-Sona, the Spider-Sona redo, a few days ago. I think it's been at least a week. I've been just slowly chipping away at it. We'll go and make that transparent, and we'll put old Spider Shock here at 70. We'll put him back at 30 in a minute. But yeah, so Spider-Sona is on the table. He's being redone. Decided to redo his casual outfit. It is pretty much going to be the same as the Universe Traveler. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know if his arm is like at the proper length. I don't think. I just need to work on my anatomy. He's looking good, thank you. Because I finally put in like the deltoids here, and I was really liking it. But it's like I really want to get down to the point where I can start building the shapes out the way that I want to. The bean technique for the torso and the stomach works really well for me when I do female characters, because it's really easy for me to define where the pinch, or like the pinch quote unquote, is for when, you know, you hit the midsection and then it goes out to the waist. But on guys, I have a hard time with it. So it's like I want to work on that, and then I want to start learning how to build the legs and the arms a bit better. Because it's like I've got the shape down for the torso, I just don't have the shapes down for the legs and the arms. The hands and the feet, though, I've got a good grip on that. I feel like I got that down pretty well, at least to a stage where I feel comfortable with it, until I make that next leap in my artistic development. But I really want to work on the limbs. It's like I feel that it needs work. Arm looks fine to me, but to be fair, I just made a character with extending noodle arms. I mean, hey, that's what Dusty is to me. I mean, he literally has no joints, so he's very easy to draw. That's kind of his whole point. But I did see I just hopped over onto Instagram and I saw your guy. I love him. And he's got definitely got the Poppy Playtime motif going. Love it. And not to tangent too much, but I did watch Jacksepticeye, I think, play episode 3 or chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime. Oh my god, that was so scary. I'm really liking the direction they're taking that that world in that series. I really hope it manages to like stick the landing, you know, because I know it was kind of rough and rocky with the whole NFT thing and all that, but I really hope it manages to stick the landing, because it's like one of the few like recent horror things that I've been kind of liking, that I've taken kind of a shine to. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan, but every time I see it pop up, I'm like, oh hey, look, it's it's Poppy and Huggy Wuggy and all the little characters in it. It's like, oh, those look so cool, and I really like their designs. So I really hope they manage to stay the path, stay strong, and then stick the landing. I really hope that's it works out for them, because I think it's got a lot of promise. Oh, yeah, Poppy Playtime is really improving. Yeah, I've got my eye on them now, because it's like, I don't know, I'm kind of liking what you guys are doing, because the gameplay is really interesting, the character designs are really good. It's just they do a lot of things right that, for me, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what they do with it. Anyways, back to the drawing. Yeah, but this is pretty much him, and I not only did that, I did I've got his default here, and then I also did his suit as well. I'm going to do the design, like the detailing and stuff, a little later, and I might erase this line here, and I might do some changes to it so I can fit the design on there. But I'm thinking about changing his design just a smidge. Like, I'm gonna change the arm pattern here that I usually have, because it's supposed to be like it's like a lightning bolt that runs the sides of his forearms. But I don't know, every time I see people draw it, it's like they don't do it properly. Not in like that way or anything. I don't feel like it's very condescending, but every time I see it, it's like, it gets misinterpreted a lot for what I intend to envision. So it's like, it's kind of difficult to like show it off properly. So it's like, I kind of want to just get rid of it and then do something else with it. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that. And then I don't know if I'll put it in this reference or not, but he'll get a new back design as well. And I keep forgetting to take pictures of my sketchbook that I have when I'm at work, because I've got some completed pieces that I want to post online, and I'm thinking about putting them on Tumblr, because I really like how Tumblr, you can post like collages on not really collage, but I mean, you can put multiple photos on one post on Tumblr, and you can keep their original resolution. It doesn't matter what size they are, you can just put them on one post, which I really appreciate. So I was thinking about sticking them on there, because I've got a lot of drawings I want to put on there, and one of the ones I was working on was a new back design for Spider Shock, and I think I'll implement some of those designs that I came up with onto the design proper. I just need to figure out or find one that I really like and that's simple enough that I don't mind drawing over and over again, because it will beat having, I don't know if it's on here, if we can find the, I don't know if I have do I have the whole riff sheet? I think yeah, I do. It's right there. We just gotta open this up. Because this is pretty solid, but it's like, I really want to put something on his arms here. But it's, yeah, the shape is, it just looks like a triangle when you squint your eyes at it. So it's like, I might just change it to a triangle, or I might just remove it entirely, or just do something different. But on the back here, he's just got this bar that connects the shoulder blades together. And I was thinking about doing something different where I put like a lightning bolt shape in here and then putting a back spider on him. So he has one on his chest and then one on his back. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. I think the rest of it will be relatively unchanged though, because I like the boots. I like how those look. And I want, and I think that's it. Yeah, I like the boots, and everything else is pretty fine. But yeah, I want to put a back spider on him because, and I think I'll be changing the front spider too, maybe. Because I mean, as long as I have this asset here, I can just copy paste it as much as I want. Because I like it. He's got little lightning bolt legs. But I might change it to just being a spider. But I don't know. Branding. But that's kind of what the plan is for him. But yeah, I've been working on him. I got him done, so then when I go in with the colors, I can throw some of that down on him. But I also I think I'll have to change some of this stuff here, because now that I'm looking at it with a fresh pair of eyes, I see stuff that I want to change. But I was working on Painted Spider. Good old Skylar. And I started this last night. And I was a little tired doing it, so there's some stuff I'm gonna touch up. And I look at it now, and I like how it looks now. Last night I wasn't too happy with it, but I like it. I like the changes that I made to it. Man, I wish I could do the bodies the way you can. If you've seen my stories recently, I have to put so much detail to get it right. Yeah, and that's totally fair. Because I used to have the same trouble with bodies too, and I had to build out everything like part by part by part just to get it to look right. But as I've been practicing, and I've just been, throwing lines to paper and pixels to whatever. I've been solidifying my shapes a little bit, so that now I can get the torso and the stomach in just one shape, and then just throwing everything else on top of it. Because like I feel like I've almost got it down, where I can throw a shape down and then I just throw another shape on top of it, and then build everything off of it from there. Because I can build the torso and then I throw on my Superman my underoos, and then I can start the legs. And I feel like I'm getting there. I just need to tackle everything else, because I can get the angles on feet right, and hands I got a decent load down on, but it's like the length of the arms to make them similar to each other, to make them consistent, and not the calves, like not the thighs, the calves, but putting like the calves and then like the shins and everything down, it still got me all confuzzled. So it's like I'm almost there. I feel like I've almost cracked the code. I just need to practice it a little bit more. But yeah, and I've been seeing some of your stuff, and honestly, I think you've got the right idea down, I think. And everybody has their own methods for drawing stuff, so it's like I wouldn't say it's like, oh, you need to do everything that I do, but I think you got a good sense for it. It just takes practice and a little bit of time. But this is what I'll be doodling on for the remainder. So we'll probably do this for like an hour. I did want to show off some other things too. I futzed with my group A a little bit here. I shifted Chris's torso and his head. So instead of doing, I don't know if I saved it on here, instead of doing the mean lean like he's doing here that I didn't like, I tilted his torso back just a smidge and realigned his head. So now he looks like he's kind of standing straight up instead of leaning forward, which kind of glad I did, and it improved it a lot in my eyes. So it's like, okay, now it's sitting in in a position that I like. And I did the same to Ryerda as well, but I kind of messed up her. I feel like I kind of messed up her. I messed up something on her because. No, it was the transparency. That's what it was. I messed up the transparency because of the way I saved the assets. So it's at 100% opacity, but the lines are faded, like it's at 60 or 70 or somewhere around there. So it's not quite there. So whenever I put edits on it, the lines were black instead of faded like I wanted. And if I faded it a little bit more, it would like obliterate the lines I already had, and it would just, they'd disappear. So I don't think I have the. Oh, that's Dusty. I clicked the wrong one. Click them again. Yeah, because if we go to here, no, that's the old one. Yeah, because see, she had another. She was doing a mean lean too, and then I tipped her back. And this one was the biggest one where I was like, oh, I didn't like it before, but now I actually kind of dig it a little bit. And it was literally just because of the fact that they were leaning a bit too much. And yeah, just the fact that I tilted her back just a little bit more and I moved some things around, the design finally clicked with me, and I was like, okay, I like it now. I like it again. It's like on the fence before, but I like it now. So these are finally done now. I can finally, lay them to rest for now before I just throw the thin and scratch on it and then color. And then I can start building out the rest of the cast from here. So that's just something I wanted to show off. I finished Group B. Group B is now done. We got Sparks. He's there in all his glory. We got Sid. She's there. Still not too kosher on her boots, but I think that's just once I actually, start working on it and I put some other stuff on her boots, I think it'll work itself out. But she's there. Sarah's here finally. I didn't put anything on her shoes because I don't know what to do with her shoes. And we finally finished Freya. And oh my god, I'm so proud of how she turned out. Yeah, they're standing on even ground. Exactly. And I'm just so happy with how Freya turned out. Oh my god. Look at her. Out of all of them so far, I think these two are the ones that I'm like really proud of. I like everybody else. I think Sparks looks pretty good. And Group A looks really nice. But these two, I'm like, oh man. It's like, he's cracked? He's cracked? But yeah, I really love how Freya turned out. She looks so good. The legs are a little but at least to me. But I mean, like from like the waist up, including the arms, is just chef's kiss. It's so good. I ended up redoing her hair. Because I was trying to copy off of the original head that I made for her in like the old doc that I had, and it just wasn't meshing with me. I didn't like it, so I redid it entirely, and I just started with the part that I liked and then moved from there, and I got a shape that I really liked. So she's like, oh, it's there, and she's got the top I wanted. Yeah, she's looking good. So I can't wait to actually finish her up and build out some of her supporting characters and cast and all that stuff. Because yeah, she just looks so good. It's like I'm so proud of this. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show off here, and then we're gonna move on to this. There's not gonna be too many for Group D, I think, because Group D is just going to be the Spider Zone stuff. The rest of the fan stuff I don't think I'll probably touch, because there's I was gonna do Pokemon stuff and Sonic stuff, but the Sonic stuff is kind of low priority at this point. I've got decent refs for them already. and I don't plan on adding any more characters too, because the ones I draw routinely would literally just be Ami and Sparks, and that's it. It'd probably just be the two of them. So, and I don't plan on doing like a big grandiose like thing with them. It's just like this is them. These are the characters. Here's the lore for the world and all that, and that's it. There's not going to be a plot or anything. It's just characters and lore, and that's it. So then I can just draw them in whatever I want to do with them. I can keep them loose and flexible, you know, like Mario. Everybody else though, they've got plot. The Pokemon stuff is also going to be kind of like that too, but you know that kind of actually has a plot to it too. But the Pokemon stuff is low on the list of priorities. Because I have some other more personal stuff that I want to work on that I'm a little too embarrassed to talk about. So, but then Group C, because I kind of jumped from B to D. C is, you know, Will and the Siblings Destiny stuff, and the Mystery Bunnies stuff, which I'll get to in due time. But I wanted to jump right to Spider Sona stuff because Spider Sona stuff is still kind of in vogue for me right now, and while I had the motivation, I want to do it, get her done. But I don't expect there to be too many characters in this lineup. It'll be like the two Spideys, the Lizard, Kurt Connors, Doc Ock, maybe Mrs. Strange, and then I might add Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. I don't know. Maybe I might. Even though they are like principal characters in it, you know, they're like important. I don't know if I'll add them to it or not. Because I just don't draw very often anymore. And when I do, it's just I draw reference stuff. I don't actually like do anything with my characters. It's like I'm a fraud. You're a fraud, Spider-Man. So it's like I try, man. It's just I'm a notoriously slow worker and life sucks. So it's not very conducive for me, which is why nobody ever sees me do anything. Because it's like I work too slow and I'm too sad to do anything. So I suffer. I'm not even like a true artist. I don't suffer and do stuff. I just suffer. I had to man, just being good at art and character design in this instant. No way, bro. I've gotten this far. I'm not gonna fucking stop now. Hell no. Okay. So we're just gonna go in and I'm gonna fix this hand. But now that I'm done with like the major outlining stuff, we'll drop it down to 20. If I do it like this, I think. Yeah, I think that fits a bit better. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to sort of redo the shape here a little bit. That's the function key. I want the control key. So that way I can do redos. Because I'm a digital artist. I can do that. Just do that. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking that a bit more. draw much either. I only draw when a character design originally comes to mind, and I push to the side as soon as the next one comes along. Yeah, it's... And I can't have a tendency to do that too. But it's... The difference is, I think, is... And I think that this is kind of a mindset that's kind of been pushed on me by social media and stuff like that. But at least when artists like actually get motivated to make stuff, they at least, there's like a constant stream of stuff that they make, and they at least create something, right? So when it comes down to it, they at least produce a bunch of stuff, and then, you know, that stuff is there, and it's an example of their work. I was on the wrong layer. There we go. So, you know, it's like... Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you merge two layers, it puts it at 100%, even though the layers are... It's faded like that. It's fine. It's fine, I guess. But I mean, it's like at least that stuff is being made and stuff like that, and people make like comics and stuff like that, so that way they have a constant stream, and it's reinforced by, I don't know, algorithms and stuff like that, so that way people can see their work. And I just sort of sit on my stuff and not do too much with it, and then when I post it, it's like, oh. And it's also the fact that I don't render a lot of stuff. I'm really sketchy and scratchy, and I don't push a lot of finished stuff. So it's like, I don't know. It's just like a perfect storm of like my own personal preferences when it comes to style, and then everything else on top of it. So that just doesn't get a lot of eyes on it. And then, but it's like, you know, is that something you truly want? I ask myself, to which I say yes. But then at the same time, I was like, nah, not really. It's like, I don't want to be a celebrity. It's like, that's not my thing. If anything, I would probably end up being like Bill Watterson or something like that, where it's like, I make that thing that's like lightning in a bottle, and then it never happens, and then they're like, who is this elusive man? It's like, he hardly gives out interviews, and he like does stuff very infrequently. Although I'm not, though unlike Bill Watterson, I am not as profound. Okay. I think that hand's at a decent enough spot that I like. Okay, we're going to go up here. And now we're going to draw her face. So I'm just going to move this up here so I have it in view. We're just going to take this and just boop. There we go. So I can capture her face. Okay. Now, I guess one thing I forgot while I was really sleepy last night is I forgot to put the center line on the head. Shame on me. don't know how it happened, but I'm followed by some weirdly big accounts. I'm just a little guy. What happened there? Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that just happens. And I'm like, is this real? This can't be real. Because I've mentioned in my own Instagram stories where it's like, hello? Hi, nice to have you here. Like, I guess one of the big flexes that I feel okay to talk about, because that I'm, pretty confident in talking about, because it's like they don't really know. Because I think this was done out of courtesy, but I followed, speaking of Sonic, I was followed by Scott Dreer, who voiced Knuckles in SA2. And he follows me on Twitter. And I was like, hi. Because I think it's because I followed him, he just followed me back, so it's like, nah, okay. But I'm like, what? Hello. And let's see. I'm also followed by the Marza Planet staff Twitter, which is pretty interesting. I think they just, but I don't know. I think most of the big people I get followed by they follow out of like a courtesy. They do like a follow, you follow me, I follow you back kind of thing. Maybe. I don't know. I'm usually too nervous to ask. But yeah, the Mars Planet staff Twitter follows me, and it's like, that to me is pretty crazy. Yeah, Scott Dreer. And some big ones personally followed me that, they were huge to me. X the Dark One, when he was still on the internet, he followed me on Twitter a while ago, and I was like, oh my god. Because I followed him for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Abridged, and he's also just a talented actor guy. And he's a pretty decent singer too. If you ever, I don't know if he still has some of his stuff up, but he did a cover of the GX theme that was really good. So I'm like, I still pretty crazy that it's like, oh man, he followed me. He's like, whoa. So yeah, and there's like a few other ones where it's like, whoa, oh my god. And I think that some other people follow me for like the fact that I retweet a lot of stuff, because it's just a thing that I do with Twitter. It's like I hardly post there because I hardly get any reach, and mostly because I don't think a lot of people care about the stuff I make anyway, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But because I retweet a lot of stuff, they probably see that as like a source of like, oh, this person like retweets a bunch of interesting stuff. I'll just follow him, which I think is like, one of the reasons why I have certain people on there. Oh, and I guess for the last one, I suppose that's kind of a big one. Germa's, I think, girlfriend follows me. And it's not even for like the reason why. Because for like, I think it's because I knew her at one point, and when I went to show her my Twitter account, I hit follow on my account from her thing, from her account, and then I think she just forgot. So yeah, she follows me. It's like, cool. Yeah. And most of the other people that that I'd consider big are mutuals, because I just either like did something for them, or I was like, I followed them around for a lot, so I just kind of, we have that familiarity of like, oh, this is like one of my followers that I knew, so it's like, oh, we just became mutuals. So yeah, that's kind of my stories, I guess. I don't really have any of those kind of things for like Instagram or anything like that, because I don't Actually, no. I do have one. On Instagram. And it's a person that you should. I say you should follow, but I mean, I think he's pretty cool. Ernie Ochoa, Ochoa. I don't know if it's Ochoa or Ochoa. He follows me on Instagram, and that was like one of the first times I was like, bleh, for someone who followed me, because I was like, oh, who is this Ernie? And when I opened up his account, it's like, yeah, he's a storyboard revisionist, or what? I don't know. I forget what his role is at Nickelodeon. He works at Nickelodeon, and he's like a storyboard revisionist or something like that. And he's worked on like The Loud House, and recently he worked on that Rock Paper Scissors like show that they've been doing. Oh, and he worked on Middlemost Post. That's another one. And I'm like, it's like an industry professional just followed me. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, and I'm just like, why? And then he went through and he liked a bunch of my posts, and I was like, oh, okay. It's like, wow, the fact that I have like an industry professional going through my stuff and like actually looking at what I do and apparently thinking that I make good stuff. So I was like, cool, I must be doing something right. So that one was a big one for me. Yeah, damn, dude, you have a lot of cool followers. Yeah, and it's mostly just because I, much like how you are with me, I am with like a lot of other popular people, to the point where they apparently think I'm cool. Because I just, one person that I follow, I don't know if I've talked about them on stream, Honeybits, HONEEYBITS, she's on Twitter, and she was on Tumblr for a while. She had a Cuphead fan character that I absolutely adored, and I still do. She's really cute. The character's name is Eleanor. She's like a melting candle lady. She's really cute. And Honeybits herself is extremely talented. She's got a lot of practice and skill, and she worked for Planet Dolan for a little while, if I remember right. She did art. She made art assets for them. Just an absolutely fantastic artist, and she used to stream a lot on Twitch. I think it was Twitch. Yeah, it was Twitch back in the day. And I would be in every stream of hers because, you know, the vibes were really small. I loved the stuff that she worked on. And yeah, I was just there. And we sort of just became like pretty good acquaintances after that. And yeah, I think she's really cool. She's been posting kind of regularly on Blue Sky and a little bit on Twitter, because I think she's been because she's I don't think she's got like an art job lately, I think, but she's been posting some of the sketches that she makes at work, and I don't know, it's good stuff. And I'm just so glad she's doing well for herself, because I like to think Wolf wins. And I think she's got a lot of talent and a lot of skill. And she, like, back when, like, DeviantArt was almost going to become popular again, because Twitter was, like, doing some weird stuff, like, even before Elon Musk took over, she followed me on DeviantArt, and I was like, oh, we friends? So, I don't know. That's like I don't know. A lot of my followers are like big to me, and you know, it's like how I ended up with followers. It's like it's so funny. I was followed by a con mascot once. That didn't last for too long because it was like an MLP fan expo mascot. So it's like, you know, they didn't follow me for too long because, you know, I'm not that family friendly. I skirt the edge. I say I skirt the edge, but I hop back and forth a lot because, you know, I can be kind of PG-13 when I want to be. So they're like, yeah, we can't do that. So that account unfollowed me. But it was like, for a while there, I was like, hey, cool. I'm followed by a horse. Meat. And then if you go through my followers list, it's so funny. It goes from like regular art people, regular people, like staff from shows, then like a bunch of VTubers, and then after that it's a bunch of Spider-Sona fan artists, and then like after that it's just again back to normal people. It's so funny. It's got like strata and layers to it. It's so funny. Oh, again, another big one. There was a podcast that used to exist way back in the day. It was called Wachow, and it was a podcast that dissolved because of, you know, bullshit. Some people were like not cool. The person who ran it was like kind of an asshole, and he's like not great. Not a whole lot of people talk about it anymore because it's got some, you know, it's got that stank on it, you know, that kind of drama around it. Nobody likes to talk about it, but back in the day, I listened to that podcast a lot, and it introduced me to a bunch of internet content creators that I follow to this day that I think are really cool. Colonel Cheru was on that podcast a lot, and you know, she's like the voice of Kerbo in the Terminal Montage stuff. Valero was on that podcast a lot, and I follow him still, and you know, he's, you know, doing well for himself, thank heaven, because he's a very talented guy. That's my Sean, and a few others were on that, and a couple of those members of that podcast follow me on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And some of them are game devs now, which is really cool. So yeah. I have 8 followers on Insta, and 2 of them are pretty big fake mon artists. That's pretty rad, though. Like, real talk, that's awesome. When it's like you can actually you get the attention of like for lack of a better term, your senpais, where you're like, oh, it's like the people that do this cool thing that I also do, that I also appreciate them for, follow me because they think I'm cool. It's like, oh. I don't know. No, that's still really cool though. I'll have to go, if you don't mind me looking, because I mean the information's out there. I could go look. I don't know. It might be somebody I know, because I also follow a lot of fake mon artists too. So it's like I don't mind taking a gander. Get it? Like a goose. And I guess just, I don't know, to kind of put a bow on this topic, it's something that I typically don't talk about who follows me a lot, because I don't want to come off as one of those guys that's like, oh, I'm the coolest cat on the sidewalk or whatever, or the schoolyard, and be like, look who follows me, I'm the coolest cat around, y'all should respect me. Because it's like, I don't know, it feels, I don't know, not pretentious is the word, prideful, I guess. Because I'd rather treat it like a fun anecdote rather than like a mark of superiority or anything like that. And the last thing I'd want is for people who would follow me, who think of me one way, and then they see me and then they're like, oh, he's actually kind of an asshole, and then like unfollow me. Because it's like, no, I'm not like that. It's like, I do care that you follow me and I think it's really cool, but it's like, I don't know, I don't want to make it seem like I'm somebody that I'm not, in the negative way, you know? It's like, really, I'm just a cool guy that just wants to make art. And it's like, I'm really glad that, you know, someone of your caliber and skill level appreciates the things that I do. Okay, Patches Dex, who has like 8,000, 9,000 followers. What? And Trainer Blue, which is an alt for the England region, an account with over 1,000 followers. Dang, I think I've seen I think I've seen Trainer Blue, I think. That sounds familiar. And I think Potch's decks I've seen too. They sound very familiar. I'm pretty sure if I looked at them, it would instantly click into, it'd click almost instantly. Oops, that's the function key again. Good thing the function key doesn't do anything on CSP. I would be absolutely squozed. Okay, there we go. And we just run that along there. Oh, I forgot to put her eyelashes on there. Hadoi. Yeah, she's got the eyelashes. She's got the pointy lashes. I guess it also counts. It also helps that fan work is also really popular too, because that's something I hardly do, like, ever. It's like I don't tend to do fan work, and not even like fan work like with fan characters. I just don't make fan art of things in general. And because I think I talked about my reasons why for that a while ago, but it's like it's just something that I just don't end up doing a lot, which I should probably like correct. I should like make some fan art of something that I like. Ugh, why did I hold on? No, I can fix this. Actually, no, hold on. There we go. We're just going to take this, we're going to lasso that. We're just going to turn it like that. Okay, we'll see where we can go from here. Yeah, I like this. Oh, I see. The slope isn't as steep as... Yeah, the slope of her nose isn't as steep. That's why it looks a little different. I think I kind of want to put more of that in there, though. Just erase some of the fuzz off of this. Okay. I think the only actual fan art I've made is for you. That's crazy. And I appreciate it though still. Thank you. Because before I used to make fan art a lot. I've got some fan art lurking around in my folders somewhere. I just never really made it a habit of doing. Yeah, but also to go off of that, a lot of the fan art that I tend to do is usually for other people I've like crossed paths with in the internet sphere. It's like it's usually if I find an artist that I like, whose work I appreciate. It's usually fan art for them. which is kind of the, and also going back to the follower thing, that's kind of how I got some of the followers that I have, is I would just draw fan art for a lot of people, and then they would just follow me, and that's kind of where I got most of my like kind of out there followers. It's kind of how I got a lot of VTuber followers, is I made just a bunch of fan art for a bunch of VTubers that I really like. And they're just like, hey, you're pretty cool. And I'm like, hee, thanks. And then they're like, follow you. You're followed. And I'm like, ooh. Okay. I need to label my layers. This is cross. Layer 1 is the body. This is the face. And this layer will be the hair. Will be her. And not to jump to another topic all of a sudden. I'm definitely thinking about changing Skylar's hairstyle. Make like a version 2 of her design with a different haircut. Something to like really sell her her artistic nature. Like, if this design is her in Marvel's Insomniacs, Sony's, PlayStation's Spider-Man 1, then her version 2 would be like her in Marvel's, Sony's, Insomniacs Spider-Man 2. That's what I'm thinking. And I kind of want to get a bit more crazy with her hair dye a little bit. Both versions of Nova you made for me are in my Hall of Fame. And I'm really glad. Because I still look back on those drawings I made, and I still really like them. Like, I looked back at the group. Hang on, what am I doing here? I got lost in the sauce here. Hold on, I need to take a step back here. I need to refocus. But I looked back at the group, that group piece I did of Nova Sparks and Ami. And it still puts a little smile on my face whenever I look at it. I'm like, oh, that's still really cute. It's like I didn't really achieve what I was wanting to with it, but it still makes me smile looking at it. It's like, man, I need to do more stuff like that. Because posting sketchy stuff was like my bread and butter back in the day. It's like I did that all the time. And it's like, yeah, I need to get in the habit of doing that again because it's fun. And it's funny because I like, not that I'm gonna fucking take credit for this shit, but it's kind of rubbed off on some of my. I want to say that I've kind of tried to incorporate that mindset into my other stuff, and it's rubbed off on some of my friends. Specifically, friend of the show, friend of the pod, Barry Montblanc. She, I don't know if you happen to catch her streams or if you listen to her talk about how she does art. She is one of the hardest working perfectionist people I've ever met. And she goes absolutely crazy when it comes to the stuff that she makes. And I've been on Twitter. I post a lot about like make sure to, don't be afraid of posting rough, sketchy works. Just get drawing, put stuff out there. And I post a lot of I post a lot of tweets like that, where it's like, doesn't matter if it's bad or sketchy or whatever, just post art. And she's been doing that a lot more lately. So it's like, Not to say that I had anything to do with that, but the chances of it being me having an influence on that is not zero. um, but I'm just glad that she's actually posting just more stuff in general, because I like seeing her work. She's very talented. Okay, there we go. I'm kind of liking this. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Okay. Okay. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, let me take this. Take the eraser. Just do that. I get full credit. If you want, I can say you're the reason I post more sketchy stuff, even if I did that before I followed you. Well, while I do appreciate it, I don't want to. I'm not really the type of guy that'd be like, yes, my ego. It's like I don't really need that. But I appreciate it though. I just don't. I don't need it though. I'm all right. I'm all right. And I usually just say some of that stuff just in jest, usually. Yeah, I just say that stuff in jest. It's just for the joke, for the lulz. You know what? We're just gonna do this. Just gonna reset. Delete your art. It doesn't go that long, though, is the thing. It goes down to her shoulders. start drawing Spyro again. I've drawn it like 3 times. Posted once because it was the only good one. Yes, you should. So that way I may take them and use and make them and make fan art. Because I remember seeing that one you did post, and I really did, and I did like it. It's like I gotta have more. I'm just not having a good time with this hair. And I've got this hangnail. It's bothering me. Oh, there we go. Really in love with how I did their logo. Yeah, and I think that was one thing that I picked up on was the logo, where it was like, if I remember right, it was like a gradient effect that it had. It was like, oh man, that's actually really cool. Or it was like from purple to orange or something like that, right? Dun 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 do 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 dun dun dun. I think that's good enough for right now. I definitely need to come up with a different haircut for her. It was like the synthwave sounds with the legs being like palm leaves, often used in synthwave stuff. Yeah, though I must know only yellow and green were used in the logo. That's right. I guess the orange and purple thing, I was thinking of some. It must come from something else, because that's a pretty common color gradient in synth wavy stuff, is orange to purple or purple to orange. Have that right? Go back to our references. Oh, they're so buried. There's so many of them. Okay, which was the one that I was looking for? It's this one. Okay. Yeah, their heads are about the same size, but I think her head is a little too big. I think. Yeah, her head's way too big. Nah, that's why it's kind of throwing me off. It's too big. We're gonna go down here. We're gonna do some editing. Just gonna go in here where the neck is. So let's go part of the face in it. No, I think I just want to move the jaw. So it's not this. Okay, I think it's just that. Purple was in the general color scheme, so I think you thought it was for the logo, which is reasonable. Okay. Yeah, because there was like color swatches on that one piece, right? If I remember right. So then it was like, oh, my brain probably just put two and two together. Okay, then we're gonna put that there. We're just going to go into her hair. We're just going to slurp. Get rid of that. Then we're going to take the entire head again. No, not the hair layer. Just the face. Take this. I'm just going to shrink it just a skosh. Pivot it down and then just boop. Yeah, give a twist like that. There we go. Now this is what I'm all about. Now it's starting to feel right. Okay. I got it now. I've got it now. Okay, I think we can take this. Just do that. White, black, purple, yellow, and then green. Essentially, synthwave plus white. Okay. Okay. Yeah, now we're gonna do the hair again. Here, come up here like this. Oh, and as I muse about this to myself, I just realized, does she have heterochromia? She does. She has one blue eye and one brown eye. This drawing right here, I have, it's mirrored. I flipped it so that way I could get the perspective of her face facing left, so I could get a better grasp on her face shape. So it's her left eye is supposed to be blue, and then her right eye is brown. Which wasn't a design choice that was made by me. I got this design from Sawyer Sims? Is that what they go by nowadays? You'll probably know him better as Star Heavenly on Twitter, and I think on Instagram. I don't know if they're still on Instagram or not. This was their spider sauna at one point, and I had a really had an attachment to that design, and I commissioned a few pieces of that character, and then they were like, "Hey, do you just want this character design?" And I was like, "Yes, please." And yeah, been my character ever since. But I did a commission. I commissioned him. At the time, they were her, but they since transitioned, I think, so they go by they them. I commissioned them to draw them unmasked, because I was like, I want to see the character unmasked so I could see their face design. And in that piece, they drew her with one blue eye, one brown eye, and her hair was dyed green on one side and pink on the other, with a blonde in there as well. So I've kind of just maintained this look for her design, and haven't really shaken it up a lot. I've only changed like a handful of things when it comes to Skylar's design. And also I gave her the name Skylar, because I don't think she had a name, and I'm pretty sure it was like supposed to be since it was just a spider son, it was supposed to be Sawyer's name. So ever since I made her my own, I called her Skylar, because I don't know, I think Skylar makes for a fun girl's name, I think. Oh, neat. I didn't expect such an interesting story. Or maybe I did. I vaguely remember this information. Me, any given day. But yeah. It's funny how it keeps coming back to this. We almost started a podcast together. Sawyer and I. And it was kind of my fault that relationship kind of fell apart. It's not like, not to say that it was a romantic relationship or anything, but I'd say we were at least decent friends for a little bit there. But it was that part of my life where I was struggling to, find out who I am and, realizing my own, eccentricities that made socializing kind of hard. And, it was just, that relationship was just one of the many casualties of me just not really having a good grip, having a good handle on who I was as a person. And, it makes me a little, it makes me sad, bums me out. There we go. My brain wanted to use both terms at once. That, it ended up going the way that it did. But it's like, I can't, cry over it now, because it's like what happened. It's like I just gotta move on. It's like I got a few of those instances tucked away in my closet that it's one of those skeletons that, openly mocks me from time to time. And, it's like now I don't really mind bringing it up because it's, it's been long enough to the point where it doesn't sting as much, but it's, still gives me the the sads every time that or at least when I think about it every now and then. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's whatever. It's like if I got hung up over every person that I've met that I just sort of fell out of contact with, whether it was, due to my own, shortcomings or otherwise, it's like I wouldn't get anywhere in life. Because, I got a lot of them. And, it just sucks. It's just one of those things like, man, that just sucks. So it's like, I just gotta dust myself off and keep going. It's like I can't cry over it forever. Just be happy it happened. It's like, you can mourn it for a bit, but, just be happy it happened. Okay. I think her hair looks decent now. The angle still kind of bothers me a little bit, but I think it'll be alright. Yeah, she just needs a haircut, man. Okay. Now I can go on to move on to clothing. So Skylar, I think that's correct spelling. Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, I do the AR instead of ER because it's different and it's cool. have any specifically unique power. Between the two spider people, she's kind of more of like the standard run-of-the-mill spider folks. So her power set is a bit more general. She has web shooters, unlike Spider Shock. Spider Shock has organic webbing, like good old Toby. Mainly because he's not smart enough to actually design something like that. So he has that he has that ability to. But you know, when Skylar, I imagine, or at least how I have it planned, is Skylar kind of shows up a bit later. So by that point, the Doc Ock and Kurt Connors of this Earth have they've already shown up, and they're already allies to Spidey. So when Skylar gets bit and she develops her powers, you know, she gets like super strength, stick to walls, spider sense, all that good stuff. She's able to reach out to Spider Shock and be like, "Hey, I have powers. Am I gonna turn into a giant spider, or is it gonna be like a you thing?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, look, another spider person. Right, we should probably get this sorted out." So he takes her to the docks, the dock in the boxes, and has her looked at, and they're like, it's fine. You'll be fine. But the spider that she was bit with wasn't like done cooking, quote unquote. So she doesn't develop organic webbing or like a specific power. So she just has the spider stuff, and she doesn't, and because the spider wasn't done cooking, quote unquote, she doesn't develop the webbing. So the doctors reverse engineer Spider Shock's webs to create the synthetic webs and the web shooters that she uses. So between the two of them, it's kind of like how I kind of like to look at it, like the relationship between Peter and Miles in the games. It's kind of like that. So she's like more apt to get something like the Iron Spider suit or something like that, while good old Caldwell over here, his electricity sort of develops differently, and he sort of develops the electric powers. So that's kind of where she's at. And yeah, that pretty much it. And that's all there is to that. Computer. Okay, so her jacket is a bit further open. It's like down here. It's like over here. I learned some new lore. I'm happy with this. Yeah, I feel kind of bad because I haven't really developed her stuff as much, or just the spider stuff in general, because I've got pages of this. I could go on. I've got like a whole thing with my spiders here that I'd love to do. I drag my feet because it's a lot to do, and I'm not entirely sure how I want to do it. Because I was like, at first I wanted to make like little comics, and then I wanted to make fanfics, and then it was like, then time sort of got out of my hands or whatever. I can't talk today. But then things got away from me, and I just can't quite figure out what I want to do with them, or at least how I want to tell the story. Because it's like, I'm one of those poor fools that's like, when I make a new character, it's like they gotta have a story, and there's plot, and things happen, and there's like consequences for actions and things like that. So it kind of makes drawing fan art with other Spideys a bit odd, because it's like, how would they fit in the story in some way? So my brain just can't compute like that, because I'm special. But I really want to like actually make that stuff, because I've got the first, like, Chris's first bite, the bite figured out, his first swing. I have that planned in my head. I've got the him fighting Doc Ock, him getting the job at the corner store that's owned by Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. That's part of his story. And then when he meets Skylar for the first time, when he and Skylar have like their, I wouldn't say they're falling out, but they have like the first big drama hurdle that they get over, her getting bit, Chris meeting Doc Ock for the first time, fighting the lizard, helping those two out, helping those two out, and getting their names cleared because those two are on the run. Meeting Mrs. Strange, who's like the Doctor Strange of that world. All this other stuff. The Venom arc. I have a Venom arc planned for the two of them. It's like I got a lot planned, and it's like I want to get it out there. But, it's a bunch of extenuating circumstances, and also for the fact that I don't know if anybody else besides me would care, or, like, aside from me and, like, those closest to me would care. So it's like, and I don't want to be that guy that's like, that goes out to a person and is like, please read my OC lore, because I don't know, there's just something that feels kind of, I don't know, it's, because I don't want to shit on other people that are actually bold enough to actually post stuff about their OCs, but it's like, I always feel really, for lack of a better term, I feel very pathetic being like, please look at my stuff, and then they see like this stuff that I draw, which is very simple, very cartoony, and they just look at it and go, neat, and then that's the end of that. So it's like, I don't know, I think it also just sort of goes back to bad experiences with me just sharing art and, overselling what I do and then disappointing people. So it's not the best, but it's there. Just because I don't share it doesn't mean it's not there. It's there. And also just the fact that in general I'm just really really bad at conveying my ideas coherently. I'm just really bad at it. Buddy, my spider persona doesn't have a design yet, let alone a story or villains. Well, I mean, I guess. I don't know. It's a lot of my characters don't have designs yet, and it's like I got full stuff. I don't know, because it's like, I don't know. I think it all just boils down to just not being good enough. And it's a very toxic mindset to be in. Because it's like, I want to be good enough that, people will look at my stuff or look at me and be like, hey, you're like one of us. You make good stuff. And then, I can finally be accepted and all that stuff. It's very much like a Wreck-It Ralph story almost. If I can use to use like a piece of media for it. Where it's like, I want to belong, man. But, it's just like, I have a hard time doing it because I just don't, everything I do is just not conducive to it. And it's like, I don't even want to make it a pity party too, because that's the other thing too, is I don't want to become that person that, you know, gets shit out of pity. It's like, I like to consider myself to be an ideas guy, but I'm not a fucking tech bro. I'm willing to pick up a pencil and put my nose to the grindstone and just work hard. But it's like, I at least want that work to pay off at least somewhat, aside from me. And to be honest, I can't say that that's not true. It's like, I mean, you're here, right? I didn't just make up somebody to try and cope. And it's like, yeah, and it's like there are people out there that do. So it's like I can't be that salty about it. It's just, I don't know, the brain worms that just desire for more. And yeah, I can't help it sometimes. It's like I can't stop them. My brain just does what it wants. And it's also just there's also just the fact that the society that we live in is just not conducive to creative output, because you're fucking tired and dead all the time. At least for me. The people who are actually neurotypical and can actually get shit done, it's like I'm envious of them. It's like, dang, it's like you guys actually can make stuff and have a proper life balance of work and play. Damn. Yeah, I'd love to read up on your lore stuff. I'd be sharing mine, but there's nowhere to put it, and also my writing is not coherent. Yeah, I know that feeling. It's like every time I find a place that I'm like, oh man, I'd love to like post some stuff here, it's like some real life BS gets in the way, and it's like, oh, this site's actually terrible. It's run by, I don't know, like Satan or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there, and it's like, oh, well, shit. I actually like this platform a lot. Like, I've been wanting to get into Tumblr again, and then people were like, actually, don't go to Tumblr. It's actually kind of bad. I'm like, well, now where am I supposed to go? The more and more I think about it, the more and more I want to just go to Otaku and then just stay there. Like, every day I'm on Twitter, and I just... It's like, everybody's here on Twitter, but it's like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's like, I'm kind of sick of this place. But it's like, everybody fucking uses it. It's also how I usually get some of my news, which, like, isn't the best, but it's, like, better than nothing. It's like... But I'd love to, you know, put my stuff somewhere. I've been thinking about putting stuff on my toy house, because I've been following some people from the Spider Sona Discord that I joined, and they've been putting stuff on their toy house, and I've been seeing how people like post stuff on that website, and I'm like, okay, I think I could probably use this in some way to actually make this a hosting site for this, and you know, I could actually make something out of this. So it's like, I probably might start using that too. Start using that at some point. Because I forget even where... Oh, I remember. I got my Toy House code from a Randy J that was in a fan Discord for Honeybits' streams. That's right. There was a fan Discord that popped up from that, and I was in it for like a month, and then I left it because I don't know, Discords just aren't my thing, and I joined them for some bizarre reason. I don't know why I do that anymore, but I joined them anyway. And somebody had Toy House codes, and I was like, hey, could I get one? And they were like, yeah, sure, buddy, here you go, knock yourself out. So that's how I remember. Yeah, I remember how I got mine. It was through that. That's right. Yeah, and I feel like I should probably use it a bit more, because it's a good site. It's just, it's a little complicated and a little hard to grasp, to parse stuff out. But I mean, once you get a hold of it and you understand the concepts, it's got a lot of utility. And it's like, I should, you know, probably use it. because I have it. I'm your annoying but lovable varmint. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Definitely makes the streams a bit more lively. And also kind of makes streaming worthwhile, because at least I'm not talking to myself the entire time. Because at least having somebody to talk to makes it be easier for me to get the words out. Because it gets a little leery just narrating to yourself all the stuff you're doing. Yeah, I don't own a website. Stop the Satan hate. Yeah, I know. It was just the first analogy that like came to mind. So, apologies. I wonder if I should actually draw her deltoids in. I completely forgot to do that. Huh. Oh, and now that I've actually built some of her stuff out, I think I can put the references away now. We can put these back up to this, and we can make them a little invisible. Yeah, make them a little invisible, as in, just make them disappear. Oops, I need to put it back on this layer. There we go. Yeah, I only join my streamer friends' discords. Yeah, and subjectively to see cool art and get art advice. Yeah, looking at my discords. Yeah, I've got Barry's Discord, the Slumber Party Discord, which is that's a friend's Discord. It's how we organize our Among Us games. Streamer Discord, webcomic Discord, the Ruby in the trash sub Discord that I have, or not a sub Discord, it's just a Discord for Ruby stuff, which I'm thinking about leaving, because it's like I don't comment there and I hardly go in there, and I don't think there's that much activity in it anymore, so it's like I'm probably gonna leave. The Acromaniacs, that's a friend's Discord. Tome Discord, the Spider Society Discord, Streamer Discord. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah. So, Mira's Mermaid Cove, Calypso's Nook, the Multiverse. Those are streamer Discords. Daikon Brigade, streamer Discord. Seduction. That's the streamer Discord for. Oh, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Captain Luna. She's a VTuber. Sumiko's Hell, that's the Fox Demon Lady Discord. She's really nice. The South Side, that's a streamer Discord. The Drawfee Official Discord, that's a Patreon Discord. Melly's Discord, that's Melly Grant's Discord. Rubber Ross's server, Barry's server, and a VTuber Assets server for VTuber stuff, which I should probably end up leaving anyway, because I'm not going through the VTuber stuff anymore, so I probably don't need to be in that anymore. But I've joined Barry's and Ross's because I wanted video updates. And that's pretty much it. And Melly's I joined because I was subbed and I followed Melly really closely, but life has kind of pulled me away from following her. But she's really cool. She's been playing through Ace Attorney recently. It's like I've been wanting to try and catch those, but I just don't have the time and the bandwidth to join, and I really wish I did, because I like her energy. She's really fun. Yeah, and the rest of these I'm just in because I don't know, I just joined them for that. I should really clean some of this out now that I'm looking at it. Anyways, yeah, that's basically where I'm at. And I don't think I'll be joining like big sub discords or big discords anymore, because they're just not conducive to how I like to talk to people. And she's got a low cut shirt like this. Or at least it's not, I wouldn't say low cut. The neckline's not that plunging. But her shirt's not up to her neck. Like Spidey's is. Her clothing's a bit looser. Oh yeah, and my Discord was in that list too. Yeah, because I started a Discord because I was gonna use that as an alternative for Twitter, and then I started my server, and then never used it. But it's still there. I just don't. It just sits there. Because I was gonna use it to post art too and stuff like that, but I just never bothered to use it. I think I might change that though, because I mean, I downloaded PostyBurb just recently, and I went through and looked at the list of websites that PostyBurb's compatible with, and it's actually compatible with quite a number of them that I want to use. So I was like, you know, I might just start using that. All right, and her shirt comes down to here. Actually, bring this back. What's your shirt like? Yeah, it's there if you ever have a need for it. Exactly. Yeah, there's like one person in there, and that's a friend of the show, friend of the pod. Has been. She's in there. But yeah, if I ever definitely have a need for it, it's I at least know where it is. I know where it is, and I can use it if it comes to it. Alright, and she wears yoga pants. Which makes this easier on me, so that way I don't have to actually, like... I don't actually have to, like, draw something that's, like... that's got bags to it or wrinkles. I just do this. Just make sure I gotta draw the knee in there. The knees. Here come the vomit, though. But they're pretty cut. They're cut short. They're far above the ankle. Nice. I have a personal Discord where it's just me, and I use it for compiling stuff for a Minecraft City project that turned into the Sim project. Yeah, and see, that's pretty smart. If you just, you know, using it that way. Although, yeah, because and that's pretty smart to use it that way. Personally, I just tend to use my files on my computer because my dad he's a very tech savvy, computer heavy guy, and he showed me like the ins and outs of using like file management and stuff like that. So it's that's pretty much my go-to for managing files and stuff like that. When it comes to like lore stuff, I think I'll stick to using like probably Toy House or something like that. So that way it's easy to compile. Oh, excuse me. Oops, that's my eraser. I need my pencil. You see, I'm not very smart at computer. So project I have is in my phone notes. Yeah, and that's valid too. I mean, not to, say that your project is any lesser for it, but I mean the gal who wrote 50 Shades of Grey wrote it on her BlackBerry on her commute to work. So I mean, it's like, it's pretty valid to say, it's like, hey, I keep everything on my phone. It's like, yeah, if it works for you, it works. One of my favorites, I don't want to say my favorite YouTubers because I don't watch them super regularly, but when Lily Orchard made that writing advice thing on Twitter, there was a YouTube channel named The Dire Gentleman, and they're writers for a podcast, for it's like an audio drama type podcast deal, and they went through the list and all that, and they kind of roasted it a little bit, came up with some actual writing advice. Really, really good stuff. But they mentioned a thing that I like to quote a lot, where they say there is no stone. It's like, there is no set way to do anything. There's no, there isn't a golden path. Every way that you do something is unique to you, and if it works for you, that's what works. So do it that way. And they use the phrase, "There's no stone." There's no stone tablet that's got all the rules in it. There's no stone. Oh, I hit the mic. I'm sorry. Sorry, darling. I didn't mean to do that to you. So it's something I like to use a lot. You see, what they don't tell you is that there are only 49 shades of gray. Yeah, and I guess the last shade is the guy from the movie. I don't know who actually plays the guy in the movie. Mr. Gray, whatever his name is. It's like his last name is Gray, right? I can't remember. And I don't care to look it up. The only thing I know is that Dakota Johnson is in that movie. And she's the one thing I know about her is she's the shining definition of what a Nepo baby is. And she was in Madam Web, which, for what it's worth, she was Madam Web. And I saw one scene from that movie, and I went, yeah, that's all I need to see. I never watched or read it. I've only just heard of it. And I've seen parts of it, and I'm just yeah, this isn't something for me. It's I'm not gonna join the hate club on it, but I mean, it's yeah, this isn't something for me. Yeah, it's definitely not a thing that I want in my life. Yeah, I like what I like when it comes to romances, and boy howdy, this ain't it. This doesn't have it. I tell you what. All right, and we're gonna quick throw on her shoes. I will never be able to escape this variety of shoe. This Pokemon ass sneaker. I'll never be able to escape that. And I don't think I'd mind not being able to escape it, but it's just, that's my go-to whenever I draw shoes. I don't know if I'll give her socks with this. Every time I draw with these, I always say that she just has ankle socks on. So that's how she prevents herself from getting blisters. So that way I don't actually have to draw socks on her, because that's just another layer of something that I just don't want to have to add to my stuff. All that's in my sin lore note at the moment is Lucifer was the first sin. And really, who needs more lore? Yeah, he was the first. That's it. Actually, speaking of lore and stuff, now that I'm thinking about it, out of all the projects you got, how many do you have? Like, is it like a big number? Because I've heard that the Sin Project, there's the Minecraft fake mon thing world, right? So there's 2. Spiderwave, that's 3. Sonic stuff, that's 4. So is that like the big 4? Is that like the ones you have going on? My lips are so dry. Okay. We can hide. What's his name? Buddy, where are you at? There you are. Okay. Alright, I'm kind of liking how she's turned out so far. We're going to... Just hear a car honk outside? What was that? That was a weird noise. Anyways, I'm going to duplicate this layer. Let's see. Christie's Bar Shop. Okay, so I need to... We're going to make... Okay, okay, then a subfolder for her. So this will be... Make another one of these. This is Skylar W. And we're gonna put all these layers into this folder. And then we're going to duplicate it, hide the original. This is going to be painted, oops, need the hyphen, spider. Spider's new. Yes, the spider. You know, there's a movie I haven't seen in its entirety. It's Megamind. I feel like I should sit down and maybe see if I can watch it sometime. If I can actually watch it. Oh, and speaking of movies, I saw Nimona. I posted about this on Instagram, but I watched Nimona because it was on YouTube for free. Wonderful movie. I watched it in its entirety and really loved it. Made me want to rewrite my entire comic because it made me look at how characters were written and character motivations and how deep they could be, and I was like, damn, that movie was deep. Kind of want to rewrite my thing now, but I haven't done that, and I don't think I will. I'll probably just brush up what I have and just go with that already. It's like I sit on it for long enough. Okay, so Spider, Minecraft Pokemon, yep, Nova, which I assume is the Sonic stuff. Undertale Pokemon. Okay, yeah, that's new. Divinican? What is that? Lego Deltarune game concept. That's cool. Minecraft Fantasy. Alright, and Pokemon Z Kalos expanded. Okay. Man, those sound really cool. Those are the big ones at the moment. Okay. Yeah, so I'd say we're about like on the same level of like grandiose ideas and projects. Where it's like we've got like a few of them that are like that are the big ones that we like put a lot of our effort into. It's like, yeah, we're about the same. I'd say so. Oh shit, have you heard about Mega Man's terrible sequel coming out? Yeah, I've seen it. Why? Because, look, I know Megamind. To me, all the stuff that I've seen about it, watching people talk about it, it's like, you know what? I agree. This movie deserves a follow-up. I really truly think it deserves a follow-up. I just don't think that was the right way to go about it. It's like it's sort of like how Kim Possible got that live-action adaptation, but instead of being like, oh man, it could have been like one of those greater end MCU movies. It's a series with that much potential. Instead, no, it's like, yeah, we get a DCOM movie instead. It's like, oh, oh, okay. Should have set my expectations a little bit, but oh well. But yeah, it's like it's got like a series and then I feel like it should get a little bit more than that. Yeah, and I saw it and I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. It's like, I kind of appreciate DreamWorks taking some of their movies and making like series out of it, but it's like, come on. Not all of them need that treatment. It's like Megamind should have just got like a big deal sequel. And it makes me sad that the bad guys got a prequel, and you know, it being like just a little special kind of makes sense. And it's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. And honestly, I don't really think the bad guys needs a sequel. It's like its own little thing. But it's like, I don't know. Can we just leave the bad guys alone, please? I like the way that it is. And even then, it's not. I know people kind of give the bad guys flack for not being too close to the source material, because apparently it's based off of a book, which news to me. Just like how to Train Your Dragon was based off of a book, which I didn't know. But I mean, for what the bad guys is as a movie, I think it's good as its own self-contained little thing. But you know, I'm kind of happy that they're willing to at least show some of their own projects some love still, because Lord knows Disney likes to do that with some of their pet projects, and it's like, you guys have a lot under your belt. Could we get like something related to the projects that you've abandoned, you know? Or just make new stuff. New good stuff instead of whatever the fuck Wish was. Ugh. Feels like a 2010's video game adaptation of Megamind, which is a game that already exists, but that was good. You know, that is exactly the kind of vibe I get from it. Where, yeah, it's like they needed to make they were like, it wasn't something that was made because they had an idea for a story. It was made because they needed to fulfill this obligation of having a sequel and or a series, because I know there's both of those are coming out. There's like a series and a sequel, but it definitely feels like that, and that's, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. And you know what? The Incredibles 2 is kind of like that as well. How everybody is like, oh man, we're getting an Incredibles sequel. Could you imagine what they could do with the idea behind an Incredibles sequel? It's like, that'd be so awesome. And then it was just like, it's just another adventure, just expanded adventures of the Incredibles with Mr. Mom stuff kind of mixed in. And it's like, we kind of already got that with all the spin-offs. And if you remember Disney Adventures, which was a magazine that came out between like 1980 something and like 2011, I think. Was it 2011? Did it last that long? Or was it 2009? Whenever Ratatouille came out, that was like the last issue of Disney Adventures that came out. There was a lot of comics in Disney Adventures that featured the Incredibles, and they were all like various adventures of Mr. Incredible, the family, individual members of the family. There were prequel stories, there were like sequel stories, and they were all really good. And it feels like the movie was just like Incredibles 2 was just one of those stories that was just made into a movie. And it's like, the thing with Pixar is they always somehow take the ideas that they have and they give them layers. You know? Like how The Incredibles, the first one, was like a spy thriller, but it was also a superhero movie, but it was also a movie about family and, you know, familial relationships and building close bonds. And it's like, it has all these layers to it. But The Incredibles 2 is just like, yeah, it's just like a, you know, it's just like Mr. Mom stuff, which, I don't know, it was okay. And then Mrs. Incredible solving the mystery of the screenslaver and all that other stuff. And it's like, you could have done this whole thing about, like, the superhero, like, because all this time had passed, you know, you could do something where, like, the supers had come back. And, you know, you could do, like, an adaptation of, like, the 90s era, where it's like you have old-fashioned superheroes from, like, the Silver Age or the Bronze Age or the Golden Age or whatever, interacting with heroes from, like, the 90s era, where, you know, shit was crazy. But, you know, it's just another movie. And you know, to be fair to Incredibles 2, it's not a bad movie. It's really fun. It's like you watch it and it's a fun movie. It's a great time. But it's like, you could have done just a little bit more with that, I feel. It's like, come on, guys. But anyways, there's my soapbox for the day. It's like, I love you, Incredibles. And I guess what started that whole thing was me thinking about the Incredibles video game. Because the Incredibles video games were of that ilk of they were THQ made games. And the THQ Disney games were like pretty decent. The Cars game was actually pretty good. I actually own that game. I have Incredibles 1, Incredibles 2, Rise of the Underminer. And that was the game I was thinking of, was Incredibles 2 Rise of the Underminer. I played that a lot with my brother as a kid. And that game is like a really solid co-op platformer, beat-em-up adventure game type deal. And it's really fun. It's like, not like as deep as maybe something else of its kind, but for like a movie tie-in game, it's pretty good. And then it makes me sad that they didn't adapt any of the Rise of the Underminer in the movie sequel, because it's like, the Rise of the Underminer has this whole plot of the Underminer wanting to turn all the continents upside down, so that way everybody's underground while he's taking over the world or something like that. But in the sequel, he just wants to rob a bank. He just digs a hole under a bank, drops it down, and then steals money. That's his motivation. And it's like, you know, my brother and I stopped the Underminer from fucking flipping a continent upside down. Now you're just telling me he's a bank robber? It's like, yeah, okay. It's a little underwhelming. The Incredibles 2 had a story? Yeah. It was there. It was there. All I remember is that one explosive old guy. Oh! I was thinking of Bon Voyage, because he's got bombs, but he's not old. Yeah, the guy from... Yeah, and that's the other thing, too. They make this whole deal about Syndrome, like, killing a bunch of supers, and it kind of gives you this vibe that, like, the supers had this, like, mass extinction event because one guy, like, killed a bunch of them. and it was supposed to be really tragic. And I don't know, all of a sudden there's just a bunch of other supers that are like, oh yeah, they were over here. They were just over here. It's like Pokemon. It's like, wait, where were these 100 plus Pokemon? Oh, they were just over some mountains. They were like next door. And it's like, oh, really? Come on. Oh yeah. I'm thinking about what else I need to put on the suit, and it's like, she has the same boot thing that Spider Shock does, where it's like a this thing, where it does a this thing, where we trace where she's like wearing a water sock or something like that, but it follows the thickness of the line that I gave it. Yeah, and there's like a bunch of new supers, and the one guy who's like, I got indigestion, and it's like, oh, acid reflux. It's like, oh man, that sucks. And then he just like spits lava. It's like, that's cool, but also gross. Yeah, Kanto Chodo borders. You wouldn't understand. Yeah, I guess. There we go. Man, I really like how this turned out. That's actually really good. It's like a really good sole of the shoe. I may just hit the futz with a little bit to match the shape of her foot, but I think right now it's okay. Because it's kind of getting a little bit late. Or at least late to the point where it's like I want to, hop off and then do some other stuff. I got responsibilities to take care of, But we'll just leave that there, and I'm gonna work on some other details here before I truly go elsewhere. Well, we're also going to take these and we're going to push this over to the other side, because now we're going to put the eye holes on her mask. I say eye holes. We're going to put the lenses of her mask on her face. We're just going to do it on a separate layer. These will be the lens. This will be the lens layer. Or lend. I know how to spell. Man, I just have Cynic on the brain. Probably because he's fresh out of the oven. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, no, I totally understand that. Where it's like you make a new OC and you're like, I want to do all the things with you right now. It's like, I want to draw them doing all this and all that. I want to write lore for them. And it's going to be... gotta stretch. Yeah. It's going to be all sorts of fun. It's like, I know that feeling too well. Oh, I did that on the lens layer. Oopsies. Oopsie poopsies. Okay. Okay. So her mask is different in the fact that it has a different shape. It starts up here. And then it'll come down about here. Yeah, because they'll meet each other like right about here. And then it comes down like this and then curves up like that. There we go. Oh, baby. I nailed the shape in one. Thank you. Oops, I had it on minus. My bad. Round that out just a bit more. And then we're going to do this, and then this, and then this. And then we're going to hit OK, and then we're going to do it again. And then we're going to move it over to here. And we'll have them sit about here. Do a little transform tool action. We'll get the shape and size down. A fun fact, I translated him from an idea for a character in the Sing universe. Nice! Yeah, it's always good to repurpose old ideas if they don't fit in one thing and put them in another. Like, here's a fun fact. My robot character Bolt, that's in the Dusty story stuff, he had his own universe. He lived in a world full of other robots. Very Mega Man-esque. And then I got rid of it because I didn't like that story. I didn't have any ideas to, like, you know, that made it like something, you know? It wasn't that spark. So I just took the character and I repurposed him and I put him in the Dusty stuff. Where I feel he fits a lot better. So it's like, yeah, take that character and do whatever he was supposed to be. What was he supposed to be? You take that and make him into something new. No need, yeah. Yeah. But what was Sonic? What was their initial idea? What was the concept? Were they like a random monster? One of the sins, perhaps? Okay, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna make the face. Just gonna, whoop. I think I got it. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to just do this real quick. How does that look with the face being where it is? Yeah, it still looks okay. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't bother me if the eyebrows aren't in the same thing. I cheat my Spider-Man faces anyway, kind of like what they do in the animated movie, Into the Spider-Verse. Because when Peter's face is very narrow, but I mean, when he puts that mask on, it suddenly has volume that's not supposed to be there. So I kind of do that with my own Spider people too. So it kind of helps to cheat a little bit. So that way you're not stressing too much about the details. Oh, no, actually, hold on. Now that I look at it. I wonder if I should pinch it a little more. Hang on, let me try and do this. Push it in just a... Okay, I think I like it that way, where you can see the bottom of. I kind of want there to be the arc of the eye in there. Okay, now let's see. Face. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, I think I'll stick with this. This looks good to me. Cynic. Yeah, like Cynic. Okay. His originally, Cynic's original character was supposed to be a failed early version of Minimon. Oh, Minimon. Yes. Yeah, Mimon's little boy. Discarded and forgotten, angry and jealous of what replaced him. Okay. Yeah, I could kind of see him being like that. I used to have a monkey plush that kind of had like limbs like that, so it's like, yeah, I could see the appeal of like him wanting to make like a long arm thing, and then like not fitting in. Yeah, I could see it, and then him becoming like his own thing. Yeah, I can see where the idea was for that. I mean, my Spider-Sona's lenses aren't even attached; they're glasses. And I think that's pretty neat. Because there's a few Spideys out there that have that use glasses instead of just, lenses like this. And I think that's kind of neat. Actually, no. Now that I'm done, okay. I want to say that I'm done because I think the last thing I need to do is. Man, is her head still too big? I don't know. I'm looking at it now, and it's like, man, that's pretty big. I think I might need to. Let me see if I can get a little closer to the skull and see how I feel. No, I did that on the wrong freaking layer. Hang on, we can just do it. This again. Where did I leave my? There we go. Yeah, they're about the same size, I think. Hang on, we're gonna do another one of these. Yeah, I'd say they're about roughly the same size. I don't know. Makes me want to shrink the head on both of them, which I'll probably end up doing. It still doesn't seem right. We can disappear. Boop. There you go. Disappear. Played around with the name Maximum before. They repurposed him for a Cynic Hedgehog. Yeah, I feel like Maximon. Yeah. Yeah, because when I think of Maximon, I think of something big. Like he's a big robot. Or a like a bigger version, and Minimon's like a smaller guy. Additionally, Cynic is absolutely deranged and unpredictable, but not necessarily evil or antagonistic. So, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like there's like a, I don't know, not like a Taz, the Tasmanian Devil. There's some other Warner Brothers Looney Tune that's kind of like that, where it's like, they're not evil, but they're like, but being all like, is kind of like their thing. I keep wanting to say it's like a Tiny Toon or something like that, but I can't remember. The head does seem a little large. Yeah, doesn't it? It seems a little too big. And it's like, yeah, and on both of them too. It's not right. That boy ain't right. Okay. Okay, I think that's something that I will do. I think I'll do that off stream. Is I'll dig around with the head sizes, because it's basically done at this point. Because the only thing that's left to add, really is the suit design, and I'm saving the design stuff for when I do color and stuff like that, because it's meant to be lineless. And also I was gonna redo her design a little bit, because originally her spider is on the front of her suit. She didn't have one on the back. If I can find it, because I think I had it in here. Is it here? Yeah. I put the spider on the back because I felt like this there wasn't a lot of room for this. But I think I might just change that, where I'll move the spider back to the front. I might just do that. But that will be a story. That will be a story. A thing for another day. In the meantime, I'm going to change the size of their head. And also I'm going to futz with her shoulders, because I kind of want to give her back her deltoids. Because, I mean, look at this one. It's like, oh my god. Girl, you got... yeah, look at the muscles. It's like, damn, girl. So that will be that project. And I'm almost done with the music's almost done too. Yeah, it's like a minute left. Yeah. What a perfect time to wrap it up, huh? But yeah, I feel like we made some decent progress. I started with we started Skylar and finished her civvy look, and then we got her spider design pretty much nailed down. I just need to do size adjustments, and then she'll be done. Then I'll move on to Octavius and Curtis, the lizard and Doc Ock, and we'll do those two next. And those are the ones I really want to do. I'm looking forward to, because I like them. They're the two husbandos, the two uncles that look after my Spideys. That's kind of their vibe. So I really want to do their design again and give give him the proper treatment. So, if you upset him, he will tear you to shreds. But if you're nice to him, he'll tear people who are even the slightest bit rude to you to shreds. Oof. I'll make sure not to get on his bad side then. Yeah, it's been a lovely time. It has. I'm really glad we managed to get this in today, even though I kind of ran a little later than I normally do. But I don't care. I gotta squeeze in more streams for February. This is like the last week we'll be able to do streams in February. Because next weekend is going to be March, 1st, 2nd? Yeah, Saturday is March 2nd. So, yeah. That pretty much wraps everything up. So, yes. I am, I'm going to call it here. Thank you for joining me. It's been a real treat. Next week we'll probably get back into Tome. I taking a little break from the game was kind of what I needed, just to sit down and play some Sonic. Well, that wasn't really that much of a Sonic stream. The hero story went by super quickly. It's like, wow, I didn't know that would go by that fast. But we got that done. And we'll have Adventure 2 stuff. We'll finish that sometime in the future. Might do it next week on Friday. Maybe. We'll have to see. But Tome will definitely be next week. I want to continue that and get the secondary cleared out and done. Or at least get the end of the secondary done. Or as, I don't know, as close to it as I can. Because the game's not long, but it's long enough. It's an RPG. It's got some meat to its bones. So it's like I want to get it as close to done as I can. Control S, gotta save. I remembered, gotta save. I want to get that done and out of the way. Let's see what else. Oh, so the thing I wanted to talk about earlier, but wanted to save for now, so it's now. I'm planning a little bit of an extended weekend in March at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm going to take some time and, give myself a little time away from work and life in general. And kind of like last year in November when I took some of that time off, I'm probably going to be I'll try to squeeze in some streams in that time, and I might do something special for those. So I might do that. I don't know, like a freestyle Doodle time stream where I'll grab some other people's OCs and I'll just draw little sketches. I don't think we're near enough to the point where it's like I want to do sketch requests live. I don't think I have the reach for that quite yet, but I want to do some OC draws, just freestyle sketch stuff. So that might be one of the streams that we do during that time, on top of like the regular stuff that we do as well. So yeah, look forward to that. It'll probably be like mid-March, I think, somewhere around there. Okay. And that's, yeah. And I think that'll be the plan for now. So next week we'll have either SA2 or Tome. Well, Tome for sure, but maybe SA2 in there. And we might do and might finish that up with the Dark Side story and the last story. We'll finish up those two stories maybe on Friday, and then Saturday will be more Tome. that will be the tentative plan for now. Um, so that is what we'll do. All right. So this time, I think we'll set up a little raid. We'll go. We'll see who's on right now. Uh. Who do I want to raid today? Oh, it switched. Who's on? Who's still on? Okay, they're still on. Okay. I think we'll do. I think we'll go to Rat Baby. We'll drop by Rat Baby for a little bit. Because she's doing some art. And I think she was like one of the first. She was like one of the first mutuals I had through the VTuber space. So we'll just send the numbers her way. That's what we'll do. Okay. So that's what we'll do. All right. Perfect. So, quick wrap up. We've done the plan. Thanks so much for joining me. This was a great evening of Sonic games and Doodle time. It was a great evening. Um, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your evening. You have a great rest of your weekend, and then a great week to follow. And until then, until that next week, Saturday or Friday, whenever, hopefully we'll see you somewhere out there in the multiverse. So, take care, have a good one, and catch you later. Bye.
I hate you, Kitty. Ah! Traveler, hi! It's been a while. Thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream?